Story Bodhi presents The Empty House starring Shivz.
Someone's moving into that old house across the street.
Shiv mom was looking out of the window as she was dusting in the living room. Shivz and Shubhi were watching Saturday morning cartoons on the TV. The old house across the street had been empty for almost a year, ever since Shiv's best friend Sagar had shifted to Delhi. The house had begun to look very forlorn. No one had cut the grass on the small front lawn, and the windows were grey and dirty. Shivz and Shubhi ran to the window to look. They hoped there would be a boy and a girl for them to play with. They both missed Sagar and Riya, who used to live there. The tall trees around the house seemed to grow even taller, and the house itself seemed to stand up straighter. As they watched the moving men carrying pieces of furniture into the house, a small car drove up and a short man got out. Shivz and Shubhi knew there would be no playmates for them. The little old man didn't look like he had any family at all. Disappointed, they ran back to watching TV again. The next few days were busy with school and homework for Shivz and Shubhi. They had almost forgotten about their new neighbor. Thursday afternoon, they saw the little old man again when they were coming home from school. He was struggling with a large box trying to carry it into the house. They saw him again on Friday with another large box.
What could he have in those boxes?
Maybe it's a large television or washing machine. It's big enough. The next morning, their mom told Shivz and Shubhi they would be having a guest at lunch. She had invited their new neighbor.
Not very interesting.
Boring. Lunch wasn't boring as Shivz and Shubhi had expected it to be. Their guest, Uncle D'Souza, kept them wide-eyed and open-mouthed with his stories of inventions. Each one sounded more fantastic than the last. Their mom was very interested in them too and promised they would come over the next day to see his inventions. Shivz and Shubhi were sure they would be too excited to sleep that night. The next morning at breakfast, "We'll go to Uncle D'Souza's house after lunch today. This morning, you two have to clean your own rooms." Shivz and Shubhi were so thrilled about seeing Uncle D'Souza's inventions that they cleaned all their cupboards, drawers, cabinets in no time, arranging all their clothes, books, shoes in proper manner. Finally, lunch was finished and the three of them walked across the street and knocked on Uncle D'Souza's door. The next hour was filled with seeing one amazing invention followed by another. One was a toaster that not only toasted bread, but when it popped up, a small brush coated one side of each slice with melted butter.
It saves time.
What's that funny looking brush, Uncle D'Souza?
It's like a toothbrush with a comb attached to the handle, so you can brush your teeth, comb your hair, and have only one item to use for both when traveling.
Great! I can use this brush during my camps.
Yes, surely you can. Now I will show you what I'm inventing now. It's going to be my best invention yet.
He took them down to the basement, where they saw a large motor attached to a reclining chair and with two rockets attached to either side. There was also an awning above the street and a stick to steer with.
This will be a fast way to travel, even better than a car, because you don't need a road. My hover chair will float several feet across the ground.
Have you ridden it yet, Uncle D'Souza?
No, but I'm going to test it in the basement tonight.
After dinner that night, Shivz and Shubhi were busy in doing their homework at the dining room table. Suddenly they heard a rumble, followed by a roar. They rushed to the living room windows and got there just in time to see Uncle D'Souza's house rise a few feet in the air. It was a perfect lift-off.